Hi everyone, this is Karen Lohoff again, and would you believe I'm still finding it curious, so many aspects of putting together a simple video. I mean this this is not like I'm doing a production with music and captions and animation, drawings. I've got a number of pictures that I'm anxious to put on the blog post that I'm going to put this with. And I do hope that I can keep that in mind, remember how to do that. But I'm very eager to share with you some of the things that I have run across today. And I can see I'm going to need to make a little adjustment right here, right here. Not lovely? Okay, let's see. Always backwards. Well, it's not always backwards. I thought that was backwards. Okay. I have run across a quote. You may know it well, may have run across it many times, may have thought about it before. I've never, that I can recall, and I have to be really careful about that, been aware of running across this particular quote before. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Now, if you were just already on a blog post of mine where when he talked about this, and then I told you I didn't remember ever running across it before, then laugh away, have your fun, do what you will. But I've been looking at questions quite a bit, and one of the questions, or one of the things that I had run across is by Tony Robbins, and he talks about it's kind of along this line. I'll have it actually on the post. And by the way, that'll be at www.kar-en.com. Karen. I wonder if it would have made more sense to do it. Let me not mix you up. It's kar-en.com. If you'd like to see the pictures and if you'd like to see the quotes and all that kind of thing. But Tony Robbins talks about the better your question that you come up with, the better answer that you're going to have. And when I put that on my blog post, it's going to be with one of the questions that was listed. I guess it must have been on his blog. He had several questions that different people put up. I can't remember if it was his blog or somebody else's. But this particular question, I believe, was, if money were not a problem, what would you do tomorrow and the rest of your life? Now, I know that many of you on the internet and many of you who come around to different blogs have vast amounts of money, and that would never give you pause and would never cause you to think about anything. And I'm certainly not implying that I'm not. Oh, that's pretty funny. Okay. So I might be among those who might be curious about how I would answer that question. If money were not a problem, what would I do tomorrow and the rest of my life? I think that's a question that bears serious contemplation if you've never thought of that, if you've never had the opportunity to think about that before. Because at first blush, which of course is what we always associate with money, it seems like, oh, well, I would go buy a new car. All the lottery stuff. I would go buy a new car, buy a new house, I'd buy a house for my grandma, I buy, you know, um, all those kinds of things. Make sure you push the money away. That's always a good idea. That always makes money feels like it's your friend. When you just push it away and it's gone, and 18 months is, I think, the average amount of time for the lottery winner to go through all their winnings. And so that's what I'm talking about, first blush. Those kinds of things that, sure, that'd be nice. If money were no problem, it'd be nice to have a, oh, what do I think of that is the coolest car? It is so beautiful, so sophisticated. And it will come to me, I'm sure it will. And then I'll pop out with it and you'll say, how does that have to do with anything? And I'll tell you, well, it has to do with, that was the car I was talking about. So, starts with an R. Has two words. Two words. Can't think of it. But think more deeply. If money were seriously not a problem, what's the first things you might do? Well, I can tell you, I have a number of friends, and I'll just leave it at that. That one of the first things I would do is I would load them all up in a car and take them to California. There's a place there that I had looked up for somebody special who's now no longer with me, with us, with anyone. And we would go learn so much about that they could each take care of their various concerns. And one, when she goes to sleep at night, she doesn't know but what her blood sugar will drop so low that she might not wake up. She's had a couple of occasions where she has awakened, her blood sugar is so low, by the time she gets to the kitchen to take it, it's like 25, 35. I mean, you can hardly, whatever you need to do, move blood through your body at that point. It's not what that means, but I know someone who needs an insulin pump, and we would definitely be checking that out, how great a need that was, or is there something that can be done, naturally, that's tolerable. I do understand that sometimes you have these lists of things, lists of food you can eat, lists of food you can't eat, lists of things you can drink, lists of things you can't drink, lists of number of times you can pee, lists of, all that kind of stuff. And I understand that that's pretty intolerable. And so in a case like that, you may well opt for surgery. I would have a hard time doing it, but I understand. If money were not a problem, seriously, if money were not a problem, we're not talking about, well, it'll be a problem in 18 months, or, if money were not a problem, what would you do with your life? What would you find is your passion? Who might you benefit if money were not a problem? Surely there are people beside yourself that you would benefit if money were not a problem. Now, there's a question for you. There's a question that has been honed and turned about and brought about in such a way that there's some real meat to that. There's some real depth to that. There's some, what was being said yesterday? A man said he wanted to be around people who I just really need to eat. I can't need to eat more yams. I'm sorry. Maybe I need to eat yams with avocados. Maybe that would help me. Maybe that would help my brain. I need to find out what brain foods I need so I can remember things when I do these videos. Anyway, he wanted to be around a certain type of person that was really valuable. And when he said that, I thought, you know, I've always used the word depthy. I like to be around people who are depthy. But I thought about the people that I was talking about and what that meant. And I thought, you know, I need to be around people who think more like I think. People who want more like I want. People who question more like I question. So, in reference to Tony Robbins and his, you know, think better questions, you get better answers. That, for me, was a sample. Now, I ran across this beautiful picture, and it has green in the lower half of it. And it has, somehow, they have managed to use a different kind of green, like 2 or 3 different kinds of greens, and they still stand out against that green background. And that's probably what attracted me the most. But this quote also has a lot of benefit. When you have exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't. If you've been following this blog just in the time that I've been doing videos, which one would think as many videos as I've now done, I could do the, you know, the upscale movie version video. And just don't wait on it, because it could take a really long time. But in reference to when you've exhausted all possibilities, remember this: you haven't, which, by the way, is attributed to Thomas A. Edison, and I'm sure you can figure out why. If you think back to some of the video blogs, they're called vlogs. Okay, that's what they're called. You will remember that I talked about my self-confidence formula by Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich. And the third paragraph of that self-confidence formula refers to the principle of autosuggestion, and how by using the principle of autosuggestion, you eventually bring about the object back of that. And I thought about that because there is no reason, except, of course, our fragile memories, and some of us have more fragile memories than others. But I think a lot of times when we get in a situation where we feel like we've exhausted all possibilities, you know, memory isn't holding up all that well at that time either. But if you remember this, that you haven't, that is one tool, that is one principle that you can take into your behaviors, into your practice, to free up for yourself the possibility, or 10,000 possibilities, that you haven't exhausted. I'm just going to share one more right here, because I know people's ears get tired. And seriously, I used to have a soothing, delightful voice. It didn't used to be down in the basement quite so much. So I will try and free you from that. But this is posted. It was posted on my Facebook, because I subscribe to Mike Dooley. It was posted as from the universe. Do not argue that you have not. Come out from your fort of safety and see the abundance it has hid you from. So, consider you have been hiding from the abundance that you want by being behind a fortress of safety. And do not argue that you have not. Never claim there's lack. Come out. Come out and take a look. Thank you. I hope you'll join me again. Bye.